In this video, I'm going to give you a complete tour of AlphaInsider.com. We'll cover the strategy marketplace, performance tracking, alerts, automations, setting up your own trading bot, and all the tools available once you're inside the platform. So if you're trying to figure out what Alpha Insider does, how it works, and if it will fit your trading style or what you're looking for, this is the video for you. So right now I'm on the home page of AlphaInsider.com. If you go to the bottom of this video, in the description box, you will see a link that'll take you to this page right here. What you're going to do first is you're going to sign up for an account. This is free to do, and you're going to get access to a lot of the features on Alpha Insider with a free account. I will talk about the pricing aspect of Alpha Insider at the end, but I want to let you know that you get access to the vast majority of everything with a free account. Once you are logged into a free account, it's going to look something like this. You will just not see anything under the trading bots category right here. You'll see something that looks like this. It'll be strategies, and then you'll start to see what is showing on the front page of Alpha Insider with no filters, no customizations, nothing. I'll start off with what we have available right in front of us. This is the search bar. We can type in specific strategies or keywords. So for example, if I wanted to look up a strategy that trades Coinbase, I can look for the name coin and I can find a bunch of strategies with coin in the title. That's one way we can use the search bar. But below that search bar, you'll see top low risk, top crypto, top stock, and top free. On Alpha Insider, as of right now, as I am filming this video, the vast majority, if not almost everything on the site, is available for free. So you won't see a difference here. But when I mention top free, users have the ability to create a trading strategy, upload it to the site, and then charge for that strategy. So if you have a proprietary strategy or you want a way to monetize what you do and you have a following, you are able to actually put a paywall up, and members will have to subscribe to your strategy and then pay monthly, and you will receive 70% of that monthly fee. Alpha Insider takes the other 30%. Before I talk about the filters, which we can do right here, I want to point your attention to what these strategy cards look like and what you have available to you. So at a glance, without really diving into them, which we're going to do in a minute, you get to see how they performed over the past year because I have it set to year at the top. If I was to turn this to 5-year, this will now default to the past 5 years, and it will show you the history of these strategies over the past 5 years. If a strategy has not been running for 5 years, then you will just see where it started. So we can see that this one began January 6, 2023 until now. Okay, if it's been running more than 5 years, well, then you will see a full history pretty much dating back all the way to when this began. So this one right here, January 6, 2021, it's January 13th, 2023. So we have a full 5-year history on that specific strategy right now. So if I hit this drop down on the right side of the search bar, it'll allow me to filter this. So I can filter by different things. Let's say that I wanted a strategy that trades just cryptocurrencies, and I want a minimum of 5 trades on the history, which we're looking at the past year, and I was to leave it at that. And now it'll sort by everything that meets that criteria, and I can essentially now sort and choose, pick and choose, and assess which ones of these I want to look deeper into, utilize later on, auto trade, etc., which I'll talk about as we get going. All right, so back to this page. What we'll see at a glance now is the strategy cards on the screen. What I want to show you or point your attention to are these dots. What these dots mean are these are trades. So what we can see on this INTC DEMA strategy, there's a lot of trades going on. The one next to it, not a ton of trades, and the one at the beginning, there was a bunch of trades early on this year, and so far, or I guess last year, and so far it hasn't done anything. But that's actually because of what the strategy is doing. I did a full video diving into what this strategy trades, and it's actually pretty cool. Essentially, it gets long once a stock is above the 200 moving average. In the case of this one, it's trading Google. And as long as it's above the 200 moving average, it just stays long. So it kind of just rides that trend. And when it's below, it trades off the RSI, essentially buying and selling, almost scalping, but from more of a swing trading perspective. So we can get a really good sense, though, quickly, based off the time frame we've selected, how many trades we've seen over the past year. We'll be able to double check this, but it's a way to see, okay, is this a very active strategy or is this a more of a swing trade strategy? How often is it trading? And I always like to look at that first because I want something kind of in between. I have personally found the sweet spot for me is something that's not too active, but also not like one trade a year. You know, that's not going to do anything because that's kind of just getting long or getting short and just riding it, which I want a little more activity in my strategies. On the strategy card, you'll be able to see a percentage return that the strategy has achieved as of the past year. In this case, we've have highlighted at the bottom, past 5 years, etc., past month. And what you'll also see is next to this little icon, which is the user that uploaded the strategy, you will see a max drawdown, which tells you how much the strategy has drawn down in the time frame we have selected. So this one has a 16% max drawdown. This one has a 20%. This one, a lot more volatile, has a 52% max drawdown. That's a good way to kind of gauge risk. And so depending upon what you're using this for, how much you're allocating to different strategies or what you want to do, you now have a good sense of what the history of this strategy's volatility has been. The next thing I'm going to bring your attention to is the subscribe button. So from the home page, without even clicking into the strategies, which we're going to do in a second, you can actually subscribe to the strategy. So see the ones that have where it says auto trade? That's because I've already subscribed to them, and so I'm tracking them on my own subscriptions tab. But if I want to add one to that, for example, let's go to this one right here. If I click on subscribe, it's going to give me a second. It's going to give me a kind of confirmation page. I'm going to click understand and agree, click on subscribe. And now what's going to happen is when I go to the top of the page, up onto the subscriptions tab, now I can see a full list of all of the strategies I have subscribed to all in one place. This might be too many for you. It just depends upon how you're viewing them or if you want to save them in a way. This is how I just kind of save the stuff that I found to be pretty good. Then the next page or the next tab is the timeline on that same subscriptions tab. What you'll then see is a timeline of all of the activity going on for all of the trading strategies that I have subscribed to. So this is a lot because I've subscribed to a bunch, so I can see all of the buys and sells going on. And if I want to copy these, I can. All I'm going to have to do is click on this little notification bell right here. So I'm going to get alerted every single time one of my trading strategies makes a trade, which is pretty cool. Just make sure you have alerts turned on. And what I would also recommend you do is you download the AlphaInsider mobile app from the App Store. It'll be the same exact logo that you see here in the top left, and then turn notifications on once you're logged in, and you're going to get those push notifications directly to your phone. You can also have it set up to where it will notify you in your browser. That's an option as well. Okay, so let's dive into the data behind a trading strategy. Let's just scroll down and find one. I think this is the one I was looking at before. If I click on a strategy name, you will get to this page right here. What you'll then see is a description of the strategy. You'll see who it's by in terms of the user on AlphaInsider. You can click into their name, see what they've got. You can see how many subscribers they have, how many strategies they have, all of that, which is really, really cool. And then if I was to go back to our trading strategy, you will see a performance graph that's kind of blown up a bit bigger. You also might see a link to TradingView, which will pull up the open source script and more information about this trading strategy that you can utilize on your own charts, customize, take the code, customize it, do whatever you want, which is really, really cool. Not every strategy will offer that, but some will. It depends upon the strategy creator. So if you were to come onto AlphaInsider and create a trading strategy and you wanted to explain what it does, link it to where you have it on TradingView, you can do that. It just depends. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You can put as much or as little information here as you would like. Scrolling down, you will see a section where we have the holdings. So it's going to show you a live holdings chart showing me we have a position right now on ETH. We can see the current price, the purchase price, and how much the strategy or how much this trade or the current holding is up based on what we've seen movement wise. There's also an order section right here that'll show any open orders currently on the strategy. Below that, you'll see a timeline. Here is where you can essentially verify every single trade that a trading strategy has taken. Now, on this timeline, I will mention every single trade is tracked by third-party Polygon data feeds. So what happens is, let's say that a trade fires on TradingView. You're watching the strategy, see how there's like a long and a short. It fires. That signal through a webhook is going to get sent to AlphaInsider. AlphaInsider is now going to book the current price, and it's going to log it right here. So we'll be able to see the timeline, the exact date, and the time. To see the time, what you're going to do is you're going to hover over the date. So for example, I have myself hovering over December 28th, which was the last buy on ETH that this strategy took. If you look, it says December 28th, 2025 at 11 p.m. I'm in Eastern time, so that's Eastern time for me. This is going to confirm the exact times that these trades are being executed. This one was a sell at 7 p.m. on the 25th on Christmas. The cool thing about AlphaInsider is that we can automate this, which I'll talk more about in a minute, but this essentially allows us to kind of take our hands off. We don't have to do this, but if we wanted to, we can set alerts and we can take the trades on our own based off the alerts that we get from the trading strategy. I'm going to go back up to the performance graph really quick so we can see hovering over the max drawdown. We can see this little crypto tag, meaning it trades crypto. The strategies on the site right now are split up between stock and crypto as of right now, and you'll see a crypto tag for those that are trading crypto. We have a live percentage of how this is done over the past year, and then we can click on the calculator option. So this is where we can go back and we can hypothetically say, if I put $1,000 into this trading strategy on a specified date, let's move this back to, let's go to like, I don't know, October 1st, 2025 at 5 p.m., then click calculate, you will see that if we did that, we would be down $123.69. Our balance would be at 876.43. If I click on that again or click on where that balance was, it turns it to a percentage. So you have that ability to kind of just go and see for yourself how much this would be up or down. Not surprising because we can see that it hasn't done amazing over the past couple of months. However, it did very, very well at the beginning of the year. Up in the top right, you'll see an option to auto trade. We'll get there in a minute. We have a notification bell and then these three dots. Three dots we'll come to next. Notification bell, very similar to what I talked about before on the subscriptions tab. We can get notified for trades, any posts, or stock events. The vast majority you're going to see trades, but a strategy owner might post something where you want to be alerted to like what they're saying, which is an option. So in my case, I'll just leave it to trades. All I want to do is follow the trades. And now every time a trade is taken, I'm going to be alerted when that trade goes live, and I can go in and execute the trade, or I can just follow along and just see it for myself based off of my notifications on my phone or if I'm on my computer. The three dots, you'll have the option to unsubscribe, report, or click on share. If I click on the share button, here is where you can be an affiliate for AlphaInsider, and this is how you get your specific affiliate link. There will be a share link right here. If I copy that into a browser, it's going to bring me over to this page, which we were just on. But if I was to click on this button right here, enable referrals, I'm able to get 10% on any purchase that a referral makes regarding this trading strategy or any trading strategy on the site. So for example, let's say that this one was not free. This was like a $10 a month strategy. I will be able to, if I refer someone to it, I get $1 per month because of my referral. Now, if I refer someone to AlphaInsider, what I'm able to do is I'm able to get 30% off of their monthly account fee commission. So if they pay, let's say $20 per month, I get 30% of that. If you scroll to the bottom of the website, you'll see a resources section where we have affiliates. That'll bring you to this page right here where I talk about the affiliate program. And if you have any further questions or you want to dive deeper, you can request a meeting and we can talk more about potentially partnering up if you want to know more about the program or any potential suggestions. So that pretty much covers everything at a glance that is not automating a trading strategy. If we jump back to the home page, you will see that I have a section where we have trading bots. That's what I want to talk about next. So I have a paper bot pulled up right here. If I click on the button that says new, I can create a trading bot from scratch. There's a couple ways to do this. One of the ways is to click on this button and go and follow the steps step by step from here. Another way would be either subscribing to a strategy or going into the strategy page and clicking on the auto trade button, which will then prompt you to either add it to an existing trading bot. If you have one, it'll show up, which is my Alpaca one right here, or create a new trading bot, which will be new broker connection. Okay. So if I click on that, it'll then bring me to this page, which will be specifically dedicated to the brokers allowed for that given strategy. So for a stock trading strategy, as of right now, Alpaca is your option. This will be expanded over time as we partner up with new brokers. Going to the homepage, clicking on new for trading bots. For crypto, we have Hyperliquid, Bitfinex, and Binance. I would personally recommend Hyperliquid just because no KYC and $100 minimum deposit. This is really, really nice. I highly recommend it if you're going to go the cryptocurrency route. Personally, I'm testing a bunch of things out from the stock side, which I do like, and Alpaca is awesome. Alpaca is really, really cool when it comes to essentially automations. Like they're one of the easiest to work with. That's why Alpaca is the one. Quickly, I want to mention though that the $25,000 minimum deposit is because of the PDT rule and the risk of a strategy taking more than 3 day trades in a 5-day window. Technically speaking, a lot of trading strategies on the site are swing trading strategies, but just in case it were to take a lot of trades, that's why that is mentioned. Now, there also is some big news where this is going to be changed because the PDT rule has been $25,000. I want to say that they're bringing that down to $2,000 or $2,500. That has been proposed as an option. So that will really lower the barrier to entry for, let's say, active day traders when it comes to using margin accounts. That's why that is there. If you are concerned about that or have any other questions, leave a comment or reach out to us on our contact us page, which if you were to scroll to the bottom of the website, you'll see the contact us page right here. Just submit something here and let us know your biggest concerns because we absolutely want your best interest. And so if you have any questions, concerns, suggestions, let us know. That has certainly been one in the past. So we are aware of it, but we are waiting upon updates when it comes to the pattern day trade rule on that front. What you're going to do next is when you select your broker, let's say I click on Hyperliquid, there's a video for every broker that we have that will show you how to connect to AlphaInsider. But what you're going to do next is you're going to essentially grab your public and private API keys. That's what these videos are really telling you to do. They're making sure you have your account set up properly and then Okay, how do we grab our API keys? Once you have your API keys, what that does is that gives AlphaInsider the ability not to withdraw funds, deposit funds into your account, but to have trade signals sent and executed on your behalf. So when a trade is fired on one of these strategies, for example, this one right here took a trade on the 19th of December. In this case, it is a stock strategy. It trades Intel. So AlphaInsider gets the alert, and within moments, this is sent to Alpaca, and Alpaca goes, okay, what's the price? 37.13. Boom, let's execute the order. There could be slippage, which is certainly a possibility. I'll talk about that in a second. But as long as it falls in line with what your settings are, it'll execute the order for you, buys and sells, and you don't have to do anything. That is the whole trading bot aspect of AlphaInsider. So in a nutshell, we have the main page where we have strategies. Everything here is tracked in real time. Anybody can upload a trading strategy. Tracked in real time. Everything is here for you to see what's actually working, what's not working. Then you have the ability to take what is working, what's not working, whatever you want, your own things, and you can automate that for yourself. We can also make strategies private. I'll show you a bit more about that in just 1 second. So let's say I wanted to add this buy what's cheap strategy right here. Click on auto trade. I can go this route and I can add it to my existing Alpaca bot. Let's go ahead and do that. Next, you're going to have the ability to change or update your allocations for your trading strategies inside of your trading bot. So right now I have two strategies, the mean reversion and the Intel DEMA strategy right here that I've specified a percentage of my portfolio. I can specify in percentage or in dollar amounts. Then I can also allocate what I would like to here. It will tell you your remaining percentage that you're able to allocate. You obviously can't go over 100%. So what's happening here is, let's say that you had 100% of your account on Alpaca. This means we're going to take 33.72% of your Alpaca account, and we're going to use those funds to trade this strategy. And then if I want to go dollar amounts, it's going to use this much money to trade those strategies. That's all that's saying. So inside of here, I can change those allocations, delete things if I would like to. Once I have it set, if it's your first trading bot, your first allocation, your first strategy, you're just going to see one. And that's all you're going to do. So you can set it to be 100%, or you can set it to be 50, and the rest will sit cash. It's an option that you have as well. You can add up to 100 strategies in a given trading bot, but I'll also talk about some of the limitations there as well in just 1 second. So let's say that I'm comfortable with my current allocations. I click on the button that says save. It's going to bring me to this page right here, which is our trading bot page, which if all I was to do was go back to my home page under trading bots, click on that, it's going to bring me to the exact same thing. We can see a performance graph, which has been recently added to the site. So we can see how our account balance has been faring over the past, let's say, month, week, year. As of right now, we had a trade go through, and this thing has been doing very, very well. This is up actually quite a bit based off of the strategies that I've got, because they're both doing well as I speak right now. So not surprising. Once I turn this on, you'll have a scheduled rebalance where it's going to rebalance, making sure that we are aligning with the allocations we had previously set. From here, you can also click on add allocations. So if I wanted to go this route, click add allocations, and now it'll allow me to search from my subscriptions. So what I've subscribed to, it'll let me search. Now, you can't put anything in here because it has to meet the criteria of the account we're using. So on Alpaca, that's for stocks, we have only stock strategies. So on my subscriptions tab right here, you're only going to see stock trading strategies popping up. If I was using Hyperliquid, I will only see my subscriptions that are crypto popping up there as well. Next to strategies, we'll see activities, which will allow us to see what's been going on with our account and how often it's been rebalancing or taking trades. Something just to check into, making sure everything's running properly as I start, stop, or are there any errors on the bot. Next, I want to bring your attention to the settings section of our trading bot. So go to settings. Inside of here is where I mentioned slippage before. Here is where we have the ability to change our slippage percentage. So what this means is the maximum percent from the current price that orders can be filled. So let's say that a strategy or an alert fires on TradingView, and in the moments that it takes for it to get sent to AlphaInsider and then sent to your broker to place a trade, which is actually very, very fast. But in those moments, there's a huge move because there's either news drops, there's FOMC news, there's something going on, or the spread on the stock you're looking at or the crypto is super, super wide. You can set to do not get me in if the slippage will be more than 0.5% in my case. But I can change that to the threshold that I feel most comfortable with. We also have options to rebalance on the start. So essentially when I start a trading bot, it'll automatically take everything and put it where it needs to be based off the allocations I have set. And then it close on stop, meaning it's going to close out of all the positions when I stop. So if I don't have this set, I could stop my trading bot. But if it was in positions on Alpaca, I can log into my Alpaca account and go, oh my gosh, I'm still in trades. Maybe you want that, maybe you don't, but just make sure that that is set the way you would like it. So you can go and manually close them, or you can leave them, or you can do whatever you want to do. But I personally like to keep it at close at stop, which means once I click on the stop, once I click on this button and it turns red, get me out of all my trades. That's what I want it to do. The notification bell right here, we can have it set to start, stop, info, warnings, or errors. I would highly recommend you do this, especially when you go live. I have a paper bot set up, so I'm just kind of testing things out personally with what I have going on while I'm working on my own strategies on TradingView. That's personally what I've been doing. So I'm making sure everything works properly before I bring something else in that I want to automate, which I think is a really good way to go about things, because if you're in that same boat where you're like, oh, this seems really cool, but I'm a little skeptical, test things out on paper and it's free. You don't have to pay anything. Like, there are no monthly fees. You're not using your real funds. Like, that's the best way to do it. So once you're live, I recommend you turn this all on so you get any notifications about your bot running. And then there's an option where you can update your keys. Not a problem here because it says our keys never expire on this Alpaca paper account. But if you were using, let's say, Hyperliquid, every 6 months you have to update your keys. And in that Hyperliquid connection video, when you are adding that as a broker, we talk about that. I talk about that in the video where I explain what this means and what you would have to do to update your keys. It's actually very simple, but again, that's where that would be. A couple more things that I want to mention really quick. In the portfolio tab, which is the next tab on the right at the top right of the screen, here is one of those trading strategies that I have added to the site. And it's really what it is it's kind of like it's worth a video in and of itself when it comes to repainting, because I have brought this strategy in and the back test was really, really good. But we can see it's doing terrible. It's down 54%, which just shows you what happens when you have a trading strategy that repaints, which we have a full video on the channel already diving into what repainting is, how to avoid it, etc. But this is kind of like one example of that. But I can bring in my own strategies from TradingView right here. So if I click on new strategy, name it, description, add a starting balance, and then either make it stock or crypto. And then here is where I can make it private or public. So let's say that I wanted to make it private for myself. Click on private. Now, no one on the site is going to be able to see this. So I can make this private so I can automate my own private strategies, like my own proprietary things that I don't want anyone to see. If that's what you're all about. So this way you can still utilize the automation features, but no one has to see your strategy. No one can copy you, and it's just you running that strategy. So that's where the private feature comes in. And I think it's actually really cool. And I personally know that I will be using that in the future once I have dialed in the strategies that I want to run. Some I'll leave public, but some I want to keep private for myself. Or maybe there's a period of time that you want to keep it private because you don't want, let's say it's risky and you don't want people to like get caught up in your strategy and then lose a ton of money. It's kind of a way to almost manage risk from that perspective too. If you're looking for a video on how to connect trading strategies from TradingView to AlphaInsider, we actually have a full YouTube video that I will link below, or it's on the channel. You can go find it so you can see exactly the step-by-step process and how that works. You can also find that in the resources section going down to connect to TradingView, and you'll find a video showing you that right there. So I just want to make sure that you are aware of that. There's also a ton of stuff in the resources section. If you scroll to the bottom of the website, go down to the resources, it'll bring you to this page, which at the bottom has frequently asked questions. You have trading bot set up right here. And then we have, a lot of information and videos walking you through the different features of AlphaInsider in a more condensed but specific fashion. Next, I'll bring you over to settings. You can change your plan, email, etc. You can turn notifications on or off here. More information on payments, commissions, and then this developer section. This is where you're going to be able to create API keys and manage those keys. So when you are connecting, for example, trading strategies like I have done, you will find that right there. And in that video explaining how to connect from TradingView to AlphaInsider, we dive into all of this. The last piece that I want to pull up is the pricing page, which has been recently updated. So we have it set to yearly, which is the cheapest option. But if I were to go to the standard account, which is a free account, which we told you how to make in this video, you'll be able to create one broker connection. You can have one strategy. And what that means is you're able to automate one strategy. So it can be a real live account, but you're able to automate with one broker and one strategy. Once you want to add multiple allocations, multiple trading strategies, that's where we have the pro and premium plans that come into play. With the pro plan, still one broker and 100 strategies per broker, which means you're able to add 100 allocations per one trading bot. That's what that means. Premium, you can have up to 5 broker connections, which means 5 different trading bots and 100 strategies per broker per trading bot. You get things like increased leverage, seeing open orders, being able to private strategies, 100 subscriptions that you can actually subscribe to 100 strategies on the pro account and 1,000 on premium. And you can create up to 500 strategies yourself on premium and 50 on Pro and just 5 on the Standard. So that's where the Alpha Insider pricing comes into play. But like I said before, you can do a lot with a free account to test things out. The Pro and Premium are really for someone who now knows what they're doing and is looking to scale things to the next level with trading automations. If you have any other questions, again, leave them below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope it was helpful. Happy trading.